think the question was why our court seems to be under heavy attack, actually under missile attack from all these leading, I would call them leading party leaders or political leaders in the country. I think the only person who has not talked now is possibly the president and the deputy president. The question is very clear. Is our court on the right path, on the correct path in terms of what is within the Constitution? I would say yes. He has corrected his 1.2 million signatures. He has presented it to IEBC. They have done their work and forwarded to the county assemblies. You see what he's complaining about here. And then, of course, you have Mudavadi, you have Wetangula, you have the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And we are not hearing the issues they are raising against Punguza Mizigo.
I think that one of the issues has been the constituencies that has been raised by Mudavadi.
All the issues
let me finish, because everybody has spoken when I was quiet.
Okay.
But you are pointing that they have raised. You see, those issues do not warrant this kind of attack. What we are saying is that, you know, the county assemblies have now even been stopped. There is an order. It's not that they cannot proceed. If you look at what you refer to as page 7 of People Daily, it says that the High Court in Nairobi temporarily stopped the 47 county assemblies from debating and approving the Punguza Mizigo bill.
Temporarily? What does it mean?
You know,
it's not permanent.
Now, Onyonka, please, can you stop interrupting my thoughts? I didn't interrupt yours, and I'm taking offense. You know, I'm taking offense. Can I get protection, Dibar?
Please,
I'm saying
just let
the
her.
High Court has temporarily stopped. There is no need of underlining the word, because I understand what temporarily means. But this is the point. You cannot, in fact, inject county assemblies and national assemblies. The court is operating outside its mandate. The minute this document was received by the assemblies and they started the process of moving it forward, from there on, the county assemblies should have been allowed to finish their work, and when their documentation and processes are finished, then maybe at that stage, before the document moves to the National Assembly, to Parliament, then stop it at that
level.
At that level. Because you see, the law is very clear. You know, these are independent institutions. The High Court, the court, judiciary does not want to be ridiculed, does not want to be stopped, you know, even by the executive. But then, how come the judiciary is actually conducting a coup against each and everything that Kenyans actually are doing? This, for me, and I really wish I could talk to the county assemblies in a manner that they would understand. You know, they are representatives of the people. Kenyans wanted Punguza Mizigo. This could actually be put to Kenyans and they decide. Of course, you know, the Punguza Mizigo is talking about increasing the revenue to the counties from 15 minimum threshold to 35%, which is not a bad thing, so that the executive would never think of going below 35.
Thank you.
So I think the big shots in this country, Manyora refers to as deep state. The
deep state.
Are shocked that somebody like Ekuru Aukot was able to do what they were unable to do. The BBI, I have said on this platform, and this is the point, that the BBI is actually an illegal outfit. And I have no, it's an illegal outfit because it's not anchored in law. You see, you cannot...
But wasn't there a gazette notice for the BBI?
What is a gazette notice? A gazette notice is supposed to be anchored on a legal framework.
Was Punguza Mizigo illegal?
Punguza Mizigo has followed the process in the Constitution.
Yeah, Punguza Mizigo,
the
BBI, you know, has actually...
Even for them to draw, you see the difference...
Is a cat before the horse.
The difference between, this is a popular, you know, let us not confuse Dibar. The difference between Punguza Mizigo is that they are going through popular initiative to start with, and they are using their own money.
Yes.
The BBI is drawing Kenyan money without any legal framework. And therefore, to that extent, that's why I'm saying it's actually there is an illegality there, and Kenyans need to understand. But because His Excellency the President and Raila Odinga are behind BBI, Manyora is happy to say it's okay. Where they were here, and even Onyonka, they are happy to say it's okay. Yeah, you know, these are the double standards.
BBI is actually on the spawning ground of illegality.
It is on the spot. The BBI is on the spot.
Is operating on the spawning ground of illegality. We are being told this one is a diversionary tactic. someone can actually challenge BBI in court right now and say
Why can't
where we should be stopped.
You stopped me before finishing. And
Why can't
Okay, you didn't finish.
The last point was that the court gave an order, and I said that is actually going outside their mandate. But when our court went to court for similar orders against BBI, before the same judge applied double standards and with respect
before
to the
Judge
yes, he is complaining here that he went
This
to
is
the High
page
Court.
7. If you may just let me try and
Page
see.
7.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Page 7 of the People Daily. We go back there.
Yes, a court is saying, page 7, the bottom 1, 2, 3, from right 1, 2, 3, 3 column, the last part
That
of
is
that story.
oppose initiative.
A court wondered why. That's the first column of his story.
I'm trying
At
to
the
figure.
bottom.
At the bottom.
Yes. A court wondered why the case he filed, seeking to have BBI disbanded before the same judge had not been heard.
So he
That's
says,
a very important point there he's raising.
all right, so
The
he says
same
here,
judge-
until now, they have refused to hear even an application
Exactly.
for
You
a
see,
conservative order.
the-
order,
this-
he claimed.
So he's saying this judge should actually face disciplinary action through the JSC.
And that is why we
And-
need a referendum law.
Just a
we
moment.
need a
Just a moment.
referendum law.
I think Alice is presenting a very germane, valid concern.
It's really a concern.
It was actually the same case, but a different script is different figureheads right now. Since it was him presenting and challenging BBI that is not really anchored on any law in this country, why then should he go full steam ahead and stop even hearing the whole process from the counties, Herman?
So we don't have a referendum law
Exactly.
in conclusion, and it is a problem because the referendum law, all these things are being done. Actually, the IBC should have by now presented to us a referendum law so that we can prosecute it, so that we can understand the process.
Alice is taking this to be akin to a coup, by the courts of any popular initiative that is being presented there by sincere Kenyans. Welcome to
I think I have said this before. Punguza Mizigo.
But my question is, you sound like you've already sounded a death knell on this.
Alice thinks I support it. I'm just saying what I know to be true. And the hurdles will be put in the way. This is just the beginning. And I'm not saying the hurdles are being put in the way by the president or Raila or anybody else. I'm just saying there are people who call the shots. They may be from all corners of this country.
But Armand, you're not
now,
helping.
I also agree.
You're not helping Kenyans.
I am helping Kenyans by telling them.
You're telling them, yes, that this is the situation on the ground. There is deep state.
Yes.
So we are caught up in that for us. We cannot do anything.
You cannot. It's not that you cannot do anything.
So actually, this is a cut and dry, cast in stone. Since now
I have always
we have this particular bill, it will not really fly. But BBI's referendum
I have
bill
said this
will fly.
before. I have said this just to clarify what you are saying. I've said this before, that there are people who call the shots. Some of them, people call them the deep state. Okay? They mess countries, not just Kenya. The closest to us was the Gupta family and the rest, and other members of the deep state in South Africa. They decide who becomes finance minister, who doesn't, who should leave government, and they are not government.
But their interests are?
They are very paramount.
What are their interests?
Now, I have advised leaders in this country, both in business and in politics, that it is in their interest to moderate what they do. I've even said that we may allow them to continue stealing, but with the moderation. People may not understand what I mean. I am saying when they do things like this, including trying to stifle the Punguza Mizigo, they should know what they are putting themselves into. That it gets to a point, because the people, under normal circumstances, including voting, cannot change leadership. But if you push it too far, I must make myself clear, you then leave people with no other option. And even the president has alluded to this, other than move and impeach the people in the streets through a revolution. So I made myself very clear. And I'm only saying both sides. I know how weak the side of the people is.
So that is
and I'm warning those who think they have power that it is not in their interest in the long run to push the people too far. So if there's something like this Punguza Mizigo, they should have more civil ways of fighting it. You see what I'm saying? But I'm also saying the reality on the ground is such that they will stop this. Now, I agree with Alice about the court intervention. One, because there are clear timelines. A court has 90 days to process these things through the county assemblies. So if you eat into that time,
You're scuttling the whole
you're
process.
already messing up the process. You see, when there are clear constitutional timelines for something, you must be careful as a court not to stop something. You get it? So I agree with that.
So how do you come up with this judgment? Yet it is very clearly stipulated in the Constitution that yes, the 90 days.
90 days are there. So you are eating into them.
Yeah, you're actually eating into it.
And you are eating into them when a similar matter was brought before you, you pretended it was not urgent. Many months later, you still even haven't started hearing it. So you raise, people say, no, there must be something wrong with this judge.
So is a legal way to try and scuttle the whole process.
But
Yeah.
I agree with Alice, it is wrong because of the clear timelines.
Given.
And you are eating into those days.
All right.
Yeah.
To me,
but
the
even
bar,
jurisprudence-
Is it Isaac or is you?
It is me.
Okay, all right.
It is
Okay,
Richard.
Richard.
to me, I think the issue is it's very simple. Why do I say it is very simple? We have a recommendation of one group which is bringing up changes into the governance structure of this country, allocation of resources and all that. There is another team that feels there is another system that we need to introduce, and there are reasons for both sides. What my argument is, and I completely disagree with Professor Manyora that there's a deep state, and therefore the deep state is the one which is actually going to come up with the BBI and is the one which is going to create ABCD. Even if that was the case,
But we've
what
had this.
stops you not to imagine that the opposite of the deep state is the one actually which is babysitting the Punguza Mizigo initiative? Nothing. In other words, Kenya is basically a country where politically we have got different forces which are against each other for whatever reasons, whether some people say this is about the 2022 elections. I'll give you an example. If you look at what Aukot is saying in his interview again, which is on page 7, is that this whole exercise in the collecting of the views is going to take 10 billion shillings. Not true. The amount of money that, because I'm in the budget committee, the first year they were given 100 million, the second year, which was this year, they've been given 132 million. That is the committee of the Wazes, the team which was appointed, and they're going around. My argument is, it is wrong to stop Punguza Mizigo, and it is wrong to rubbish BBI. My argument is that we have got two forces in this country, like it was during the Wako draft, like it was the Bomas draft, like it was the current constitution that we have. The mess we have right now is because of the antagonism and disagreement which came out when these discussions were taking place about our constitution. The issues whether the Senate should be the upper house or the lower house. How much money are we supposed to give to the county governments? So my point is, finally, I want to finish this debate.
Yeah. This will mark as your closing remarks as well?
Yes,
Yeah,
my point is, I don't think that there is need for the whole exercise of Punguza Mizigo and BBI to be mutually exclusive. They can actually be mutually inclusive.
Mutually inclusive.
Yes.
So we should not
that
be
you
having
can pick good items from Punguza Mizigo and pick good items from BBI,
Mesh
and
them
then
together.
allow synthesize and then pick what is good for the country.
Thank you. What is a hula baloo? Because I think this is not really cast in stone, Isaac Maura, as we're winding up. We can always course correct along the way, and that's why we actually presenting this maybe a court before the county assemblies as well. So why should we actually be beating it down to the ground, yet it's something that can be amended along the way?
No, you can't change even a comma.
You cannot really change.
Even a
Yeah, that's
comma.
that is what I want to understand.
I think it's because this is not their baby.
It is not their
So if
baby.
it's not our baby, we must kill it. But at the same time, the same way somebody has gone to court to actually muzzle legislatures at the county level from debating, is the same way even BBI will face similar hurdles if we do not have a referendum law. And this is very important, and Kenyans need to take that. But I also see as a problem around the issue of political gerrymandering. From my own analysis, you need at least 7 months for a referendum to happen in this country. But then you have the shifting nexus of power. I don't want to call it center of power, nexus of power, especially with the coming into place of the handshake. Because every political move has a motive. Every political move has a motive. So what is the political motive? And that is something that people need to, ask themselves about this. If you look at, for example, Punguza Mizigo, Dr. Uhuru Aukot would have benefited the country by first, conversing on the issues, so that then, for example, how do you tell Kenyans that you are going to have 2 MPs per county? So a county like my county, Kiambu, with 1.1 million voters, will have the same number of members of parliament like Isiolo with 150,000 voters. That is totally unacceptable. Or Nairobi with 4 million residents. So the issues were not canvassed because, of course, he wanted to hide under what Professor Manyora is calling the deep state, the owners of the country.
Thank you.
And that is where the problem is. Maybe because also you're asking me to say the final things. Is number two, I want just to say that there has been some fire in Ruiru town, the Madai supermarket and Equity Bank, probably for all the people who have lost their lives and their jobs, and also the ones who have lost the property. And also, finally, this issue of referendum has a challenge around the issues of budget. And Mheshimiwa Nyonka, the incoming governor, has said about it is not budgeted for. I don't know where that money is going to come from. And in the census also, because we're going to spend money, I would really want to urge the BAL.
You're jumbling up a lot of stuff. No. We need to wind up.
No, please,
on the referendum. No. We stop for time.
Yeah,
we'll pick up on the referendum next week, please. Let's hear from Alice Wahome.
Thank you. I think the bar that the only lawful, okay, other people and outside we can actually lobby and lobby for support or against support for the Punguza Mizigo, because it's of course a constitutional document. It is a document that also has a lot of politics in it. But I think that it would be wrong to stop them from moving, the counties debating. I think we should have allowed the debates to take place. The courts should release this document back to the counties where the debate and the decision should be made by our 47 county assemblies, and we should trust that they will actually make the right decision. And of course, anybody who is interested in persuading either or for or against, then should actually go to the county
Fair
assemblies.
to Hamad Manyora, closing remarks
Let me use
briefly.
my 5 seconds.
5 seconds, please.
To talk about what happened on Friday and Saturday. The traffic snarled up at around that Gilgil place. That road ought to be reconstructed. Instead of going to the Mombasa and coming up with another highway, Mombasa already has SGR. We should concentrate on the Nakuru, Nairobi highway, dual it. But then again, people who start repairing a road at the wrong time, schools are closing. That is wrong. I think we must be sensitive.
I wish the
to our own people.
Just say one
Right, thank you. No. We need to close. And of course, you need also to grab maybe the standard for this particular story. We've not even put it to our panelists to discuss this. Maybe some VIPs will be named. If you may pick up the standard. Sonko threatens to name VIPs who abandoned their children. Governor's staff claims they have received accusations against 16 elected leaders. And he says he's going to be doing that today. So if you're a leader and you know that you have Mpango Akando, you've not declared your child yet, all right, just keep out your ears and, of course, keep your eyes peeled as far as this is concerned. Governor Sonko will be announcing that.
People who live in glass houses.
You can read all the details in the Standard today. Thank you so much for your valued company. I can see a lot of tweets. We stop for time, but thank you also nonetheless for contributing.